Well, hello, everyone. Hello, my name is MarQue, and welcome to Crown and Compass. And we are starting our January, yes, we want to get this in for January, series about AI. Now, if you have a business or you're an entrepreneur or you work for someone, or maybe you just share your social media posting and texting, if you're writing anything, somewhere along the line, you've heard about AI and how AI can replace so many things. Well, in our world today, AI can be both a blessing and a curse. For the younger generation, I'm sure they love it because AI serves as a card cataloger, a researcher. You don't have to do anything. You just put a few words in, press the button, and boom, there you have all your answers. Well, if you come from back in the day, like I did, then you know how to go to the library, you know how to go through the card catalog, look in books, find your encyclopedias and research, as well as then utilizing the computer. Google was our friend when it first came out. And AI can be our friend too. We just have to remember that AI is not the end all, be it. It is an enhancer for us, and in some cases, it can expedite our workload, helping us to get things done. But do not make the mistake of not checking and fact checking your AI because it is known to make mistakes. Has anybody used AI to create a graphic? I have. Boy, oh boy, I tell you. That was definitely a piece of work. I thought I was looking at some avant-garde artwork, and we thought that the Renaissance age was something very interesting. So, again, AI is an enhancer and it can help expedite things for you, but we don't want to leave our creativity, our work, and what we have spent years getting for knowledge and learning. We do not want to leave that in the hands of AI. So you always fact check, you always read through, reread, and check its grammar and, of course, what it's saying. Because the way you personally say something, the way I personally say something, may not be the way AI interprets it. So let's talk about the different AI platforms. Now, I happen to like ChatGPT. I know that's one of the first ones that were out, but we now have Genius, we have Perplexity, and I'm sure there are others, Gemini, and so on and so forth. And this is one of those situations where you kind of want to go with what works for you. At the same time you're doing that, please don't leave out the first steps that we just talked about. Fact checking, rereading, checking grammar, checking the facts and the history, whatever it is that you are researching or putting your words together for. As well, with those different platforms come different perks, right? With ChatGPT, I can actually have graphics made. I can get connected through Canva, and Canva then will generate. So ChatGPT generates it, and I can then put it into Canva, and then I can do any of the updating to it, editing of it that I would like to do. Sometimes it's a little challenging to be on the tech side of connecting these different platforms, but things are working pretty seamlessly, and it's not a difficult task. If these are things that you have not done already or do not know, the first thing I would say is don't shy away from it. If you already have a Canva account and you already have ChatGPT, Genius, Perplexity, or any of those AI platforms, go ahead and just the way you would speak to a friend and ask, how do you do this or how do you do that? Believe you me, you can actually ask the platform and it will give you a list of how-tos so that you can actually learn how to connect your platforms. That's the other thing that's interesting about this AI, this artificial intelligence. Maybe I should have started with that, right? AI means artificial intelligence. And it's a platform that was built to learn. So as you continue to keystroke or put in your information, it begins to learn how you put things together. Doesn't always mean that it spits it back out that way. When I put something into ChatGPT, I will ask it for a polished and professional post, a polished or professional letter. So it will give it back to me. And then I will go in and I will say, I wouldn't say it like that, or I wouldn't use that word. You know, it is an enhancer for those, again, an enhancer. Please do know that if you just cut, copy, and paste your information from your AI platform, those people who work computers and know how to get behind the face can tell if you're using AI. So you definitely do desire to change some of the wordings. Don't just copy and paste it. Much like we used to call it back in the day, plagiarizing. So plagiarizing somebody else's work and calling it your own, same difference. ChatGPT or any AI platform, that's not you. It is an artificial intelligence that you are utilizing. So give it its due. I guess I would say it that way. So I often will take the information, put it into a document, read through it, make the necessary changes that I want to make, and then I will type out those things for myself. And then, of course, if I'm sending an email or a letter or whatever that correspondence is, to send it out. These are things that, as I'll say, the seasoned professionals, those who have already been in their profession 10 plus years, and AI comes onto the platform and it definitely can help you expedite your work and get things done faster. For those that have not and are just new to the professional world, and AI has been you've been using it in school and so on and so forth, please do not cut yourself short. When we don't use that thing that God has given us, our brain, when we don't use it, thoughts, putting together, being creative, it gets stagnant. And you'll find yourself reaching for words and not being able to come up with a through-lined thought process because you're just not exercising the brain. It really does need to be exercised. That's why we read books. That's why we go to see plays. That's why they're so fascinated with gaming now, because that's the time that you're looking at that screen and you're playing that game and moving things around, and your brain needs that exercise. It needs that mental push. And so, when's the last time you memorized a telephone number or a zip code or somebody's address? Yeah, that's where we have to be careful that AI and those tools, GPS tools and things like that, will get in the way, because when it really comes down to it, if everything's shut down, would you be able to recall your children's telephone numbers, addresses, your spouse, your significant other, your family members? That's what makes AI and this artificial intelligence and these platforms, GPS, that's what makes these things just a little bit scary, because it's taken away our ability and our desire to actually use our brain and think about these things, um, recall these things. Okay, so let's get into utilizing AI. When you're utilizing AI, let's say you want to create a document. Now, let's say you're looking for a job and you would like it to write maybe a resume for you, an opening letter for you, things like that. Be as specific as you can about the desires and the things that you would like to communicate in this correspondence. So when I talk about a resume, a biography, okay, so my bio, I'm going to send my bio out. If I already have a resume, you could actually put the resume into ChatGPT or any of the AI that you're going to utilize, Genius, Gemini, so on and so forth, those platforms, and ask it specifically to write for you a bio. You can tell it to write a short bio. You can tell it uh, how many characters to use to write the bio. As detailed and as specific as you get with the information you give it, the more precise the information is going to come back to you. You can ask it to color it. You can ask it to embellish it. You can ask it to tone it down. You can ask it to refine it. So all of these things, again, that now come from who you are yourself, are what is helping you to work through. Okay, so that makes that simple, right? That's a letter, your bio, easy. What if you're looking to build a client list? You can utilize the artificial intelligence, AI, to ask it that question. I am a coach looking for a specific demographic of people for a specific thing, let's say pageants. Where would I best look to locate these people? You can ask it these questions and it will narrow down a search for you and give you feedback. From that, you then do the next bit of research and you can keep refining it and refining it and refining it until you're right to that pinnacle. There are people that have asked AI questions like, when will the world end? You can ask it things like that, and it's going to come up with its thought trajectory of something that has been programmed into it or based on information from what our current society is doing. That is where AI seems to get just a little bit scary because you can actually converse back and forth with it. Please, again, make no mistake, you are the one that has given it this information. Okay. So AI, artificial intelligence, has been programmed by a human being, and the information that it has is based on what is already available in our society, in the world. Okay. I hope some of this is helpful, and I hope it has dispelled some of the scary parts, the good, what I call the good, the bad, and the ugly about AI. So now, using it as an enhancer. So you have a new platform that you're working on, and you'd like to narrow down a demographic, or you'd like to ask it what that demographic could be for your project or your product, right? That also will help you. It will help you narrow down if you have pricing costs. So you can start doing cost comparisons. You can ask it finite questions, which it will tell you on geographic locations or community sizes or how many people are in the world. These are things, obviously, that are all available for us. But in your doing research or in your building the process for your new platform, your new product, your entrepreneurial business, these are some of the things that will help you quickly get that information so that you know where and what direction you should go in. Now, on the creative side, writing songs, writing books, writing plays. I don't tend to look to want to use AI for that, but will it help me expedite and help my creativity? Sure, it could. It absolutely could. How is it with music and melodies? Because we are a creative people, we don't necessarily want to hand all of that over to artificial intelligence. At least I don't. That's for sure. I don't. We already can see that artificial intelligence is replacing jobs. It's replacing people in the workplace, which can cause havoc in our community. Because if this is a job that you've been doing and now AI is taking over doing that job, how do you sustain your life? Right? So we have to continue to stay ahead of AI and creativity and start working forward of it. I was looking at a project with some people the other day, and we were looking at AI and how we now, of course, use robots to do menial tasks. But I said, as long as we, as the creative, continue to bend lines, then our artificial intelligence will not be able to actually work in those areas because it's linear, it's boxed, it's square. And so a round circle will be missed, parts of it will be missed when you're looking for artificial intelligence to come in and, let's say, clean a surface or an area that is not just linear or could be put on a grid. And that's some of the things that we have to look at. Okay. I see it with let's say, my pool vacuum. It gets to the steps, and what happens? It bumps it, and then it has to turn in another direction. It's not going to get into the crevices. So I still have to go in and clean those areas. Just an example of what I mean by linear and then having curves. Okay. So artificial intelligence will not be able to completely replace us, but if you look around, more of our architecture is becoming sterile, what I call sterile, linear lines and boxes. Because then, yes, AI can come in or artificial intelligence can come in, our robots can come in and they can handle that, right? We already know we have automatic cars, self-driving cars, and we have machinery and technology, computer technology that has taken jobs away from people. So we have to make sure we stay ahead of that curve. All right. I know this has been kind of a bit all over the place with AI, but if we'd like to talk more about AI and see where it can be a helper, an enhancer, I would love to continue on with this series and get some feedback from you. And then, of course, have you join me, and then we can look at some ways to do that. Again, for the creatives, if we're looking at writing a book, publishing a song or making a song or writing plays of sorts, remember that you want to make sure you do the research and vet the information that AI is giving you. And then, of course, go ahead and put the human spin, that secret sauce of human intuition and human creativity on it, just so that it doesn't have that what I call a stifled or stagnant feel. Because remember, it's going just like that. Okay. And we're complex people. As human beings, we're a complex people. We have emotions, and AI, that's the difference between our human self and artificial intelligence, is that the artificial intelligence doesn't have all of the color and emotion that we as human beings have. So make sure to not lose that, and don't be so willing to let it go, because that's what makes us creative. That's what makes us unique. Remember that AI, it's that's what it is. Okay. Different platforms will have different enhancements to it, but let's not push ourselves off the edge just yet. All right, it's MarQue, and this is Crown and Compass. And this was the beginning of what I call our AI series, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I'm hoping to hear from you. I will put this on the page so people can go back and listen to it, kind of get your feel, tell me what you think, and let's move forward to our next meeting for AI. Yes? Have a great night. Thanks so much.